in this video, I'm going to touch upon emigration. And before we even start that, I want to talk about, just mention the hypocrisy between immigration and emigration. So, emigration, of course, is people relocating to a different country themselves. Immigration is people coming into your country. And there's an immense hypocrisy in the fact that some people, they vilify people who come to their country, and I just think it's ridiculous. But they're quick to feel that they should have all the opportunity in the world to travel and go wherever they want because, they think their life is so important. I think the world shouldn't have borders. I think the world is all of ours. I don't think it's specifically this country. Of course, there's rules when you go to those countries, but the visa requirements, the rules to go into places, even just live somewhere for a while, I think it's quite ridiculous, to be honest. That's my opinion. I understand, you have to protect people's rights, all these things. But of course, there's quotas with people. You can get overpopulated in one region of the world. But still, it's too much government control and all that. But anyway, let's not go into that. I just want to talk about the hypocrisy within that because I do get fed up with people who are a bit self-righteous one way and then they sort of, don't quite sit right. Now, look, I don't know all of the rules of every country, so I can only show a basic understanding. And people can correct me in the comments, whatever they want to do. But I would say try to keep it productive, though. I mean, it's always good to educate people in a positive way. It's not about trying to be a smart ass or trying to diminish something. It's literally just add to a conversation. That's always useful, isn't it? And you come across better. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Anyway, so what we're going to do here, I'm just going to touch upon the countries I'm familiar with first, because I think obviously that's going to be the best way to go with this. There's going to be people who have knowledge of other countries, and they're going to maybe have negatives and positives to say. One thing I would immediately touch upon, though, is that it doesn't matter where you live. There's always going to be someone who's not happy there. So you might like it, someone else hates it. And I think really for each of us, it's understanding what is it we actually want for our life. Where are we most comfortable? So where would we, if we went anywhere, where would we position ourselves within that dynamic? With me, I'm not a city person. So it doesn't matter where you put me on the world. If I'm in the middle of a city, it's stressful to me. I don't like that. I like freedom. I like space. I like to explore. That's not for me. That's concrete jungle. Doesn't mean I wouldn't be comfortable in the situation for like a weekend or something. But living there, that's not a life for me at all. So it doesn't matter if I was. So if I was in, for instance, I'm in England, UK. If I was living in a major city centre, that would frustrate me. And I could understand how someone in that environment, if they didn't like it either, would say, this country's horrible, blah, blah, blah. You're in the wrong part of it. There's other people who live in nicer parts because they chose to be in those areas. So it doesn't matter what country you are. There's always going to be even if you used to go in France, you'd have the same problem. It doesn't matter where you go. You're always going to have that issue in itself. So let's just touch it quickly. I don't want to sort of drag this bit out too much because I want to get on to the point of the potential. So I'm in England, UK. So I haven't even travelled the whole way around England. In terms of my own personal familiarity, I was raised in Essex, this area here. So I don't know how big it's coming up on my mouse there. It's not ideal. But I was raised here, Southend-on-Sea, Essex. Like for a lot of my life, it was just centred around this area here. Go up to Chelmsford, I go Colchester, Clacton, Mersey Island around here somewhere. Was it there? I think it's there. I don't know. Wait, yeah, I think it's here. But anyway, either way. A lot of people always think London, London, London. If you lived there, you'd go London. Well, you wouldn't because it's really hard to... traffic goes mental. As soon as you pass the M25, the major motorway that goes around the ring of London, it's traffic, parking. So a lot of people do trains. I'm not a big train person. And why would I want to go into a heavily built up monstrosity, really? To be honest, for me personally, I've been there. It's pretty, but it's just a bit too much for me. It's just too busy. So I always just prefer just to go around here. But where I was located, because we was at the end, it's nice because you've got a beach. I don't know if the picture's going to... I'm hoping we can use some imagery here, like we can actually click shit. Well, it's not really giving me much. We'll go for it in a minute. Right. But anyway, So because it's a dead end, effectively, like you can't go right, you can't go east. So the only way out was through certain roads, and it was so busy all the time. So even if I just wanted to go into the countryside, it was always like a chore, you know. But that was really what I was familiar with. I still went to like theme parks and things to the south of London here. You got, I think, Gatwick Airport around here somewhere. It's a major airport. Then I relocated to Cambridgeshire around here. And now I lose the beach. We'll lose the seaside. But it's a lot easier for me to get around wherever I want to go. And although this Southend has its own beach, for the most part, it's really mainly like an amusement place. You've got the theme parks, you've got the amusement arcades. It's really like, it looks nice, but there's not a lot of beach. You know, it's good for the locals in these certain times when the tourists are not there. But a lot of people come from London, they come from parts of England, and it gets really overpopulated and crazy over the summer. It's not enjoyable at all. So where I am, okay, I'm not on the beach, but there's a lot of beaches along here. We've got Hunstanton across the top here. Mundlesley is really beautiful. I don't think a lot of people know about that. I don't even know if we're going to get an image of that up. I don't think we can do it. I might have to I want to use a pinpointing thing in a minute anyway. I'm going to show how beautiful some of these places are. This is what I want to show. Because people are going to have an opinion of a country without seeing most of it. So it takes me from where I am maybe about 2 hours to get over here. But that's not bad. It's a road trip. And the roads are not too busy, like from where I'm used to. So I don't even mind the 2 hours driving really, because it's not that bad. It's mixed up with made fast roads. It's little country roads. It's just variety. That's what I love about England. Like, I'm going to get onto that in a minute. That when we maybe romanticize somewhere else, it's not necessarily better than where you are. You know, like I see the beauty of other countries in some certain aspects, and I could say, "Oh, that's beautiful. That looks incredible. That's incredible," and it's a great experience to have. But I know I will, no matter where I am in the world, there'll be a big part of me that just desires the quaint basicness of England. Like, I love it. Like, and and it's not because I'm British. It's just I absolutely just love it. Though it's something that I actually cherish it. You know, I like the little country roads. I like how beaches are simple as they are and things. You know, it's peaceful. Like when you find that pockets of peace, of course, you go into city centres, you're not going to find that. So let's say it's summer. All of a sudden, I can go on road trips and I can go all the way. I can go travel through all this countryside. You see all these different places and these small little villages, and then the bigger towns, maybe even a city. But mainly around this area, we're going to get mainly towns and little villages, and it's pretty cool driving through them all. And then we get to these beaches over here. And if you want to go to a really big beach, really big place, you could go to Great Yarmouth here. It has its own theme park. It's got a massive seafront thing, like amusements, just like Southend does. It's a bit of a trek. Probably take me just as long to get there as it would to go return to my hometown, to be honest. And of course, there's other places. I haven't even been up north that much. I've been around this area here up north. And I mean, yeah, city centres in Manchester's pretty cool, but it's not my vibe really. But I mean, you can put up with it. And driving through places like Derbyshire is really pretty. Again, people's experiences. So people could say, "Oh, England's really dull, this and that." It's like, that's your opinion of it. Like, it depends where you've been. Like, if you've only been in one town your whole life, or one city your opinion's going to be very limited. It's just a limited perspective, isn't it? Yes, I think it's important to start with that grounding. I think to understand where we come from, if you appreciate where you are, because I think it does allows us to be a bit more. It just allows us to be more grounded in our thought process rather than get caught up in a dream or an idea, because that's what some people do. They fantasize something too much. It doesn't always work. So let me see if I can do this, because I want to show some of these beaches. Now, a bit annoying if it become popular, because I like it. But either way, I'll probably find somewhere. If somewhere became popular, I'm sure I'll find somewhere else, you know. So if we just started on, I don't know if we can get it, because Hunstanton has two different areas, you see. You've got Old Hunstanton and you've got Hunstanton. So one's more of an amusement area, and one's a bit more just beach, and I prefer the beach side. I haven't actually been on the amusement side. I think I've only done this Old Hunstanton beach. I'm hoping if I took this on, it'll come up with something, but I can't guarantee it will. Let me see. I'm putting the little man on, and I'm hoping it comes up with something. Like, oh, it does. Blinking out. It comes up. There you go. This is it. So this isn't actually where you come from, this forest. There must be a car park somewhere up the road somewhere. We've got to try and find it. But as you can see, when the tide's out, it looks drab. And there is some stones along there, but I kid you not, this is really nice in the summer. You've got the North Sea. I think it's the North Sea that's just out there. And Oh, it lets you actually walk along the path. I think I know where I am. That is the car park. See, I know where I am. You watch, it turns out it ain't the car park. It is actually, it's where these huts are, I think, if I'm right. Oh, wow. You can actually go through it all. I think it was back there. Wait a minute. Let me just. No, it ain't that. Wait a minute. It might have been that. I think it's just gone mental. Oh, yeah, there's a car park. So I know there was a car park. Can you let me go up the car park? This is mad. I think this is the car park. Oh, Christ. It won't let you go in it. Let me go there. No, I won't let us go up. Okay, figure that it's the car park. And then you'd walk through the sheds. It might not be the exact place I was talking about, but it seems very familiar. I won't let us go into the beach. I don't think it lets us go out that far. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame, isn't it? I don't think there's enough way to get in there. Let's see if we can keep going until we get to a place. Oh, wow, you've got thickets of forest. Oh, it's a car park. Yeah, I'm learning. I found it. Bloody hell, there was no car park when now I know to find a car park instead of where I park. I normally park on the side streets for free, but it's really hard to find a space. But of course, we're seeing it with. I know your people are just seeing the freaking grassland here. On the other side of that, you've got the beach, and of course the sea's out and stuff. At the minute, it's not the ideal time to be viewing it, really. But if you can maybe just imagine a little bit, just how peaceful it is. You know, you just walk down. It's nice. This is Britain. For me, this is Britain. Now, other people have different ideas. If I'm talking about like Essex, Southend, it's not like this at all. That's got amusement parks. It's got all sorts of shit going on. So it's overpopulated and ridiculously touristy. And you can't even sit on the beach in peace. Here, you can find your pockets of space. And I think it's peaceful. For me, it's peaceful. I don't know how you get out of this. Ah, that's how we do it. Okay. So that was Hunstanton. Now, near Hunstanton, I've got to try and get this off. We've got Sandringham. Sandringham's beautiful. That was the royal retreat. I used to say the Queen's retreat, but of course it's the King's now. If we can get the Sandringham estate up. Oh, this church. That church is really pretty. I think that's the one I went to. I had a little look around. Let me see if I can get the pinpoint on that. I've got photos of this. If it's where I think it is. It won't let us pin it on that. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is it. So that's where you have to pay extra to go in here. It's the gardens. It's the Sandringham Gardens. That's what it says there. Look, so I've been here a couple of times. I think it's incredibly beautiful. The trees here are sublime. They're actually huge. And that's a little monument. I think they do that when it's Remembrance Day. Down there is where right behind here is the church. And then you've got the cafe and stuff is round that way. I don't know if it's going to let us do it. I don't know why it won't let us go there. Yeah, it's putting us in a tree. Anyway, if you can see there, even just an example there, it's such a beautiful place to go walk. If you want to be peaceful and just get away for a moment, this is a really, really incredible place to go. This is somewhere I go every year, just to get away, just to be in peace. Costs a little bit of money, I think it's like £10 parking. It's quite a lot of parking money. But you take the hit. Fortunately, it doesn't cost me that much in fuel to get there. I don't know if there's another way of finding the decent image of it, really. I think maybe you've got to click these little buttons. Oh yeah, we're on the path now, but I don't think it's going to let us go. Oh yeah. Oh, guys took the photo. This is the guy's photo is by the look of it. And this is just where they have the food court, I believe. And that there, yeah, because I know that this is it. This one here is the souvenir shop, and you get some really nice British stuff. I'm not hugely royalty or anything into all that. How did you get backwards? But you've got some really nice merchandise in there. But anyway, this is not even doing it justice. It's beautiful, believe me. So let's have a look at Mundlesey. Hopefully we can get a look at that because that is a really nice little beach. Takes me a little bit longer to get there. But you've got two now. So the good thing about over here, Cromer is more of a modest tourist place. So that has a pier and all sorts. So if you're looking for more of a tourist place, maybe a little bit more to do, you can go Cromer. But if you go a little bit further down to Mundlesey, this is a really bloody nice place. This is quintessential British coastline. This is if I think of a British beach that typifies something from the past. If you think about like Britain back in the day, before you had all the like amusement parks and everything else they tried to do to make it attractive, this is it. And it's like, oh, this is nice. So hopefully I can give an impression of UK beach, of actual beach. Well, is it going to work? It's not a big tourist place. I'm not sure if it's going to give me what I want. I think you got to click them. I'm going to be in the water if I click that one. Like this. Right, this is nice. Now, all these little stones, I don't even notice when I'm there, so I'm not sure. I think it depends what part you're along. Now, they've picked the worst time of the year. It looks like it's maybe autumn or something going on with this. Because he's got his jacket on and all sorts. But you want it in the summer, man. You can see a picture up here in the corner there. I don't think we're going to get any. Wait a minute, if I click the right-hand side. There you go. Oh, we're going through pictures. This is it. Look how beautiful this is. I think it's incredible. Again, North Sea. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. There you go. So, okay, it looks stony there, but it depends where you're coming down from. You got quite a bit of walk. It's a shame they're giving this overcast look because it's obviously going to ruin any image if it's all overcast. It's not doing it justice at all. I don't know if there's another way of getting out of this. Because you've got these nice little side streets. It's just a very small towny area, you know. It's just very, very small. It's like a little village. And the good thing is you don't have to, if you don't want to pay parking, because I try to avoid parking costs because it's a nightmare. You can find the streets, not this bit. That's the bit too small. I think I know where I am. I think we're coming straight into the town. Oh, wow. I think I know where we are. There should be a little corner shop. Oh, I do know where we are. That is the town. So if you go this way, you've got this nice little Mundersley sign in a minute, I think. Oh, dear. Unless I've been past it. I think it's here. Yeah, this little sign round here. This is a really nice little walk, by the way, along this. Really nice. Over there's the car park in this corner area. So that would have took you, if you'd gone along the beach bit there, straight down, it would have took you there. But if you come up here somewhere, you can often find, there's a really nice, actually, a post office on the corner here. This one here. And look how beautiful this little building is. Like, I've been here and I absolutely love it. I think this is so beautiful. This little house here, I stood it. This is the post office, little quaint little post office. But it was this house here I thought looked so cool. Look, I like that little garden, but it feels really, really nice. Like when you're there, you think, oh, that's beautiful. I like all that. You know, it's all decadent. Yeah, this little post office, and then you go down these little tiny roads. And you've got like parking there anyway, but you can always find off-street parking further up the roads around the corner there and stuff. But look at this. I love all this. So when people think of like England, they always think of like the bustling cities. They pick the worst places. I know nice places. And believe me, I don't go wasting my time in the places I don't like. I'm not an idiot. You know. So if I was to leave England and I was to live in another country, I wouldn't be reminiscing England of like the cities and all that shit. I'll be remembering these places. And it'd be like, I miss that. And I know I'd miss it. Obviously, it doesn't mean you can't move somewhere else and revisit and come back. I've not been up that road. But let's go back down here, try and get along the sea, the Esplanade a little bit. Here we go. And there is a pub thing here, but it's all being worked on. I don't know what the hell was going on with it. It seemed to be decommissioned. Look, it's falling apart. Oh, it is now. Look, they've got all this building stuff going around it. Anyway, let's go past this mess. And it opens up to this nice little field. It's nice when you've been there because you can actually say it before it happens, you know? So that's what I'm talking about. I'd rather talk from first-hand experience, then we'll talk about other potentials. Look at this. How nice is this? I like all this, bunting, is it called? Oh, that's so cool. But it's like, this is really nice. You've got a nice little sitting view here, like a pavilion thing to sit under. Just to enjoy it, just to enjoy the view, enjoy the peace. And then you've got this nice little view out to the sea, look. And then down there, it's got those beaches we saw with the little beach huts, like on here on the left. So down there, you've got all the beach huts and the thing there. And over here, we've got like, they've got a tiny amusement area, and then you've got like a cafe as well. So if we look, you've got ice cream shop there, you've got a beach hut cafe here, some little bits and pieces to take on the beach. And there's the arcade. You know what I mean? It's small. I like it. Oh, look, there's a group there. Oh, there was a group. And I'm guessing that's the car park. Oh, we can't get in there. But anyway, that's the car park. I did go on a little trek along here, and it takes you out in this corner of you up here. I'm not sure if you're supposed to, because sometimes you're thinking, Jesus, this is like a bit dodgy in terms of cars. Oh, there's a pub here. I didn't know that. Okay. So there's a little pub along up the road as well. It was somewhere around here I come out. It might have been around here. I think it's further around. But it's only because I like to go exploring along the beach and I try and find a way back. But that's that one. Now, if we was to quickly just go backwards, I know we're taking a long time here. Hope it's interesting, people. I'm interested. I'm interested myself, to be totally honest. Chrome. Here you go. It even says Chrome up here. I only went here once, and it's more of like a town. So you've even got like shopping. You've got the bigger shops and stuff that you've just outside as you go through. So before we even entered the beach area, you could have stopped at the local places to get what you need and even get your car fixed and do things. So that's just on the outskirts here-ish. I can't remember exactly where. Oh, there's a little zoo as well. And there's got their own little hospital. Oh, there's even a lighthouse. And again, you've got other ones just between them. I think there was some other little beaches as well. Let me see if I can get this little man on the beach. I want it near the pier. Right, we know where the pier is, 'cause it's up there. And there was goats or something on these bloody fields. On these, it might even be one there. Yeah, they are. Look, they're on the freaking grass. They were literally just walking up and down this hill. I think it was goats or sheep. I think it's goats. Crazy. We might see some more as we go along. Oh, that might just be the bit. I didn't actually come along this part. I was at the top. It was a bit of a touristy season, and I didn't quite bother with the crowds, to be honest. But I don't know if I'm too close to this microphone. But yeah, so I never actually quite made it along this little pier. It's pretty cool. You can use this feature to just have a look yourself, you know. Chroma pier. I'll show Southend in a moment because then you can have an idea of where I come from. And again, I know all the little areas though, so I know where to find my little pockets of peace. In fact, what we do that after this. I just want to show that England ain't really what some idiots like to paint it out as because they haven't left they haven't travelled. If you don't travel, how the hell do you know anything, you know? I don't think we can get back up there. I don't think I can get up there. Oh, that's a shame. I want to just come back out just quickly. I just want to see if we can get on top of it just a little bit because I don't want to be down there. I want to be on the cliff. Yeah, get up here because it was really nice along here. I think it was here. No, it's still at the bottom. How'd you get back out? So we want to get up the road then. We want to be on the road. Oh. All right, wait a minute. It's quite crowded here. I missed all this, fortunately. I wouldn't like that. I don't like crowds. Well, I can put up with it when I have to, but I don't stay there long because I get on my freaking nerves. I can't even get out of this little bit. Forget it. I think we've got a good enough idea of Chroma. It's, it's a different beach. It's a different type of beach, isn't it? It's more of a tourist destination. So we've been around there. We could actually show... In fact, what we quickly do... See, some people have certain beaches they like. You know, Southwold's got a good population, a reputation for a good beach too. And there's little caravan allotments as well where you can go and stay for the weekend or a week and enjoy that area. If we do Southend, now I know all of Southend. I'm not going to pick Southend apart. They've even got their own airport and stuff. It's take you to flight like Portugal and all sorts of stuff. Pretty cool. Let's just stick to the seafront. So this is where the amusement is. Where it says Adventure Island. So I've lived here. I've lived all over Southend, to be totally honest. I've lived in Southend. I've lived further over this side. I've lived in Shrewsbury, which is this side. So I'm literally born and bred. I know all of it. Even the football team stadium there. Look. So there's areas I prefer. I'll show you where I prefer. So I used to love coming here. This was my sanctuary. So when COVID-19 was on, and you had to stay in your area, but you could only go a certain distance away from home. Fortunately, I live close enough to this beach, and I used to love just walking along this beach. I'm not sure if it's going to come up. It would be between here and here, around here. This is where I used to just spend my like. So when COVID-19 was on, I would just come down here. I wouldn't, I'd go for a walk along the top, but sometimes I'd just go along the water as well, like here. But I don't know if it's going to let us on the beach. It's not a lot of depth, but it's really, really, it's nice. And you get this nice view of the pier that's here. It's a really long pier. Yeah, it was just peaceful, but I don't think it's going to let us into the beach. So we'll walk up a little bit. We'll go this way away from town. So this is coming away from the town centre. So a lot of people, when they visit Southend, they naturally go down there, whereas this is the better side. So if you actually just want to come to the beach, you're better off down this end, away from where everybody is. There is a lot of stones, unfortunately. But of course, it's like anything. The closer you are to the water, the more they're washed away. So it's just worse at the top than it is at the bottom. But a lot of people take their dogs for a walk along there during certain parts of the season. There's certain parts you're not allowed. There's people that have their own boats and stuff. So you've got this little boat bit, which is pretty cool. But that's for maybe the more affluent people. But anyway, this is just a more basic area. So I like, for instance, COVID, when I had my daughter and stuff, and I'd bring her down on a scooter. She'd come down this road here. We'd come from down up there, and she'd bring her here. We'd cross the road. She'd be on a scooter. I've got pictures of it. And she'd be down here, all down the back there. I mean, then we'd go on the beach. It's just pretty. So leaving wasn't particularly easy, but it was a new opportunity. And I found other places I like, and I can get around a lot easier. But yeah, this is home to me. This is home, like what I'm familiar with. So if we just come back, we'll go to the actual main part now. This is where it gets hectic as hell when the summer holiday, like when it's mental. Oh, we've actually gone into one of the shops. How the hell did that happen? Look, let's go outside the shop. Let me see if I can get outside. Put that there. I really want to come back here. There you go. So you got the back. There you go. Theme park. That's great when you haven't got all the tourists. You can actually just enjoy yourself. There's lots to do. And then you go for a nice little walk up the log here. You go to the shop. Then you go to the high street. Got all the shops. You've got a big car park. Then you've got all these arcade amusement parks along here. And they've got this really cool thing. Again, I got photos of my daughter doing this. They added this water feature, which is pretty fun. But again, it gets so populated now, it just gets mental, and sometimes fights and all sorts of shit nowadays. It's quite sad. But over here is this water bit. It's not going to let us go into it by the look of it. But it's cool. So the water just starts shooting up, and you just stand there, you actually get absolutely drenched. And of course, you've got ice cream. And do you know what I mean? I don't need the glamour of like America, for instance, and all that. It's like I like this. I like the simplicity of it. It doesn't need to be extreme to me. It's like this is for me, it's peace. And it's just what I'm familiar with. So somewhere I absolutely love. So if you talk about that's busy, my favourite place in Southend, it might not come up on a map, personally. There are some really nice places. That's a nice golf course here, Garum Park. There's a big field to the side as well. There's plenty of places you can find pockets of space. I've got to find. I think it's here, to be totally honest. Here it is, Cherry Orchard Country Park. This is my favourite place. So I used to live different sides of this. So sometimes I'd park up hit this area here, up this end, and I'd walk that side into, and then like my mum lives on this side now. So I would, if I visit, I would just park up. Got to find a way in now. Wait a minute. I'd park this side and walk along. So it looks like a river, but really that's full of trees each side. But then you get this nice little a pond. It says lake. It's like a lake pond, and you got like ducks and stuff swimming all in there as well. And people trying to do a little bit of fishing. But it's just, I don't think any pictures are going to do it justice here. I don't know if we're going to get it, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful woodland to go walking. And you can take a bike. Some people even have like horses that go for a ride back, riding through there sometimes. This is my like happy space. They built this new car park on the end here, so it obviously costs a park nowadays. Private. Let's have a look. So beyond this here is the car park, and then you got this nice. And then they built this little climbing thing. It's only small, just to entertain the kids. I don't think there's going to be any photos we can do here. But you go along, and then you got like beautiful views. It's just a really nice walk. Unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be anything to give it justice, unless I can click it, maybe. Maybe that'll do it. So it shows you how you break it all up. Look, all these areas. Hopefully some photos. I mean, I'd have my own photos too. I think that, wow, that's very close to my own photo. That's very close to my own photo. But then we would do, I guess. I've got photos like that on my phone. Or I've got saved on my computer nowadays. This is my. So when you say about it's my favourite place, this is my favourite place in the South End area. Obviously locals know it, but a lot of people don't even bother or they don't know. And this is like my thing. It's got the little bluebell flowers. It's nice people got the photos and we can see them all like this, actually. A picture of a bin is a bit strange. And there is like a random tree that I like to get in photos of. It's like a dead tree, but it looks so cool. Whether someone's bothered, I always used to take photos. It's got a little stream there. It's a good place for dogs. Because it's the other side of it, really. No, I don't think anyone's going to have the photo I want. There you go, with ducks and stuff. But anyway, yeah, they haven't really got it. That's England for you. Let's say my impression of England, should we say? Because I think obviously it's going way longer than I planned, fortunately. But it's just what I'm familiar with, of course. So, oh god, pinning everywhere we are. So I say, got these. How do you get rid of all this shit? I don't know. Right, anyway, let's try and get. I don't know how we're going to move this. Right, okay, so I'm from here. I don't know how good it's coming up on your screen. I moved up this end here, and that's where I'll go. So when it's summer, I will take my daughter. I'll be taking her. My expectation would be we're going to go over these sort of areas. We'll be back into. I have to pick her up from the South End area because her mum travels all the way down. They go by train. They travel all the way down by train. I have to come all the way from where I am. We meet up here because that's where we're both from. The families are there, and then I'll take my daughter home with me. And if we want to stay in the South End area for a day or two, we will. If we want, when we come back, if we want to spend a little time there, we will. But really, it's about getting back out, get home, and then we'll make plans to go other places, you know. And of course, we go anywhere. It don't have to just be that area. We can start picking up Wales. I haven't been to yet. It looks beautiful. So I'm not going to go too deep with everywhere. Well, I mean, I don't pin everywhere. So where else have I been? I'm not going to start pinpointing here because it's been a long time. I have been to France. I've been on a ferry, I think, twice. One time we've been Calais. It was for school trip. So Calais is just a trip, ferry trip to Calais in France. And it was like a day trip just walking around Calais. That was really fun. Then I went to Disneyland Paris on a school trip. In all honesty, I can't even remember the trip. I can remember Disneyland Paris. And I can remember everyone feeling sick on a group of us feeling sick on the ferry because we started telling each other peas and carrots and shit when we don't feel well and we're just throwing up. That wasn't a good experience. But I don't remember the actual trip from arriving to Paris. So I'm not sure if I'm guessing we took a coach, but I really can't remember that side of it. But yeah, Disneyland, somewhere on the outskirts, I guess. I don't really know. Yeah, the south of Spain, I've been as a child. Alicante, I think, is where we flew to, and then it was like a different town somewhere, and there was a beach. I wouldn't be able to pinpoint it. And then we went Benidorm for the day. I didn't really give a shit about Benidorm. A lot of Brits go there. Looks crap to me. I don't want to be rude about anywhere, but no, it's too touristy for me. It's just no. Recently had a couple of holidays in Crete. I freaking love Crete. I like Greece. Love the culture. Yeah, I absolutely love it. It's all in Greek writing here now, unfortunately, for my reading. But yeah, so we arrived to Heraklion Airport and went to Hersonis, which should be around here. No, it should be around here, actually. Ellipse here. So they've got different names for it all, but it's all around here. I stayed. Yeah, Hersonis. And then I rented a car. We went different drives around this sort of area. Then I got a coach trip and went all the way to Hania up here. So we come all the way from where we're staying here all the way to the other side of Crete to Hania. We stopped off at Rothmium, which is here. So we stopped here, went there, went to Lake Kunos, which is absolutely beautiful. It's in between both. I think it's this one. There you go. I don't know where I'm going. In fact, let's see if we can get a guy on Kunos, because my God, this lake is absolutely beautiful. I've got photos myself. Steep as hell walking around this. It's on the other side of this. I don't know if it's going to let us in. Oh, it's not going to do it. It's a little bit touristy at times. The best steak I've had, and I don't eat that much, was at the top of this. It was absolutely incredible. I've got a photo of it as well. Got all these little souvenir shops as well. But you get to the top of this little building here, and if you can get a seat along this, I think it's this building. If you can get a seat here, my God, the view of that lake is incredible. Didn't know that when we got there, of course. But they do really nice food. Really, really nice, that restaurant. It's a beautiful view, more beautiful than this is doing it justice. In all honesty, if I could fund myself and stay there, I would stay there for long periods, like Crete. I love it. You know, I love England. I've shown the things I like about England, and I would miss parts of England, but I did love it here as well. I could mix my time up between the two. I just think it's for me, this is a place that I really enjoy. So we've done the coach trips, done renting the car, and all sorts of stuff. That's that one. And also did a trip on a coach from. I mean, I've got to try and get this map right so I know where the hell I am. Rothman's there. Right, Heraklian's there. Right, yeah. So we're going from here. It's got this pictures on. It's throwing me. So from here, I then did a trip as well, all the way to here. But yeah, Vi Beach, because it said that, I didn't understand. Went to Vi Beach. Now that's palm trees. That's so different to anywhere else on Crete, from my understanding. It was like crazy. I've got some really nice photos of this. Oh, this isn't even doing it justice. You've got palm trees and everything along here. I want to see if we can get. I've got to say, if you don't like heights, it's a horrible place to get to. I was terrified, to be totally honest. You're getting a freaking minibus bus thing. It's like a 12-seater mini bus thing, but you're going up in the mountains like you did at some of the other routes. But these were really tight and windy, and you didn't know if you're going to make it, to be honest. And it's all that for a beach. It's terrifying. It really was. Like, I was sketchy. So just be ready to shit yourself if you don't like heights, to be honest. Here you go, Palm Beach. But you know, I'm happy I had the experience. Would I go on that all the way again? I don't know. To be honest, someone have to give me sleeping tablets, I think. So, you know, I can't stand that. And I just wish they had more like tunnels to go through the freaking mountains or something, instead of keep winding around them, because they're dangerous as hell, you know. But it's the experience. Of course, I'm not getting enough views here to do. You've got cafes here. They're very expensive, these cafes, by the way. But really, really. Oh, what a weird photo that is. Anyway, that's that. What I would say is I couldn't decide whether I like Rothmere more or Hania. They're both so similar. Both so similar. They're proper little. I think Rothman's a city. I don't know if they're both cities, actually. They're both quite iconic. Rothman's spelt Refno as well, so it's got two different names. They both got their own little dock and things. It's just really, really nice. Let me see if I can get the Hania one. I say Hania because it's spelled Chania, but if you're actually over there, they just keep saying Hania, so you just get used to it. It's not I'm trying to be like a local. It's just as easy to say Hania as it is Chania, and I might as well just say it the right way rather than the way people want to say it. Where was I? It's hard to know exactly where you are. I mean, this was quite a popular area. I think this is it because this is the fortress. This is the lighthouse. So this is where I went. So we went on a coach trip. They dropped us off on this road here. It's about here, I think. And you had to walk round the fort. I think it's round about here, just parked up. Let's have a look. We'll see if we can do my walk. Let me see if I can do my walk. There's no point going too far back. God's sake. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's where they parked. That's why there's a coach there now. Oh, it was there. So here's a coach. And then we had to go. It got a bit sketchy going up this way. My mum wanted a drink or something. And I was like, I really don't think it's wise to be going up this way. But I'm not going to let her go on her own. So I had to escort her up this area, thinking this is dodgy as shit. And I think we just went in that shop, one of these little shops, to be honest. And I just, you know, it's getting further away from the tourist area, should we say? But anyway, oh, it looks like a bus actually as opposed to a coach. Oh, sightseeing tour. Okay, it's a sightseeing one. But anyway, yeah, that's where our coach went, and then we'd all walk. Everyone got off the coach, walked through here, and there's a little area to sit. I think you can get like an ice cream there, something. I don't know. We didn't bother. So just carry on round, and then you get this nice fort here. You can go in there from the other side later. Well, I know we've lost track maybe of the emigration point. I don't know. There's a lighthouse. It's really nice. I've got some incredible photos around there. I don't know if we can be able to just get some photos, maybe. Will it not let me just do photos? Will we not just move this around? Oh. Okay, because it's trying to follow streets. Again, I've been down some of these. They're really nice. These little quaint little alleys and things. It's so beautiful. I've got so many photos. Unfortunately, the way that works, I don't think likes it too much. Oh, so you get the. It's not usually this mental. At least where I went, I think I stuck to the actual routes. Just trying to get in, trying to get off the freaking alleyways. I don't think we can find our way out. It does open up and gets really busy, like really wide. Oh, we're going back in, aren't we? Right, let me come out because we're going to end up all over the shop. Can we get along here? Because it's a beautiful view. There you go. So that's the lighthouse. This is it. So you come around this corner, which is where I was before up here, and I've got loads of photos. And then a big ship somewhere and all sorts of stuff. Oh, you got a little sightseeing one there. And this opens up this big, wide thing. I think I bought a book round here, one of the little Crete tourist book I've got. So I was desperate to get a Crete book. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not going to work. It's just photos, I think. But it's not doing it justice. There is a little church around there as well. Here, if we get to here, I think there's a little church here. Here, that's the church. I'll get it. Has it got to the right place? It don't work properly, does it? It's not giving me it. Accessories, hotel. Sure, it was just off this corner here. Weren't further up. Unless it was Rothmian, but I don't think it was Rothmian. On this corner. Oh, wow. What the hell's happened to my screen? I don't know. Maybe I got the wrong bit. I don't remember this bit. It's like a monument to the left. Maybe I missed this. Anyway. Get lost. We're getting lost. We're getting confused with how much we're doing here. But of course, there's other things you can see over here. I think there's a Falusi beach. It's got the pink sand or whatever it is. Pretty cool. Yeah, anyway, so that's that. So I've been Greece, France, Spain there. I've been to Florida twice. So been to Tampa. Been to Orlando, wherever the hell we're looking at now. I haven't been to Orlando in ages. So Kissimmee is where I stayed, so just below here. And then you've got Orlando, whatnot. And then I went here. This is my favourite time, was Bradenton, because I remember this. So I went with my family both times, and my stepdad hurt his knee, so I had to drive the hired car. It's quite powerful. It was nice. It was fun. And we were staying around here somewhere in a villa. And I just kept taking the car because everyone else sitting around the pool. I just went car, I'll go Walmart. I like Walmart. I'm driving along, parked up over here somewhere. So this is the road into the beach. I'm pretty sure it's this. I think it was this one actually, because there was a country reserve. This is it, the Sonto National Memorial. I had photos around here. Round there is actually a reserve where you can walk around. I don't know if it's going to show you the reserve. So you come up here, and I don't know if it's going to let me. It's so beautiful here. You can see that to the water. Yeah, look. Yeah, this is where I went, and I went in on my own. Just stand there, just walking around, chilling out. Nice sunny weather. It was actually really nice. And then I think I just drove along this bit here. I think I parked up somewhere as well. I can't remember too much. But yeah, this is the nice beach, Santa Maria Beach, I think it is. Oh, Anna Maria. Yeah, maybe. This is beautiful. Come on, man. There was a bit where there was a little. I think there was like a little pier somewhere. There's a volleyball court. Might be further down. Wait, if we're there, I think we come this way. Let me try this. Oh, it's not showing the exact area. It's hard to get exactly spots, isn't it? But yeah, went to a few places along it. Really, really nice in the summer. So that's that. I think that's really where I've been. But so let's talk about immigration, shall we? Let's talk about a little bit about that. Because of course, everywhere can look glamorous. You can start picking at places and say, I want to go there, I want to go there. But sometimes home's nice too. Um, so I have options. So my grandparent is Irish, was an Irish citizen. So I can actually apply to become an Irish citizen through my grandparent, which would then allow me, if I chose to, live in Ireland, I could. So I could go over there. And I think it's from Cork. I think Cork's the north, is it? If I'm right, I might be wrong. I'm not like familiar with everywhere. Let me have a look. I bet I've got it right wrong. So Dublin's to the right here. Oh, Cork's to the south. Shit, I thought Cork was at the top. Okay, so my heritage takes me to the south of Ireland. You got Dublin there. We got Cork here. So my ancestry takes me to Cork. Yeah, and I would like to visit Ireland at some point. I know the problem is some countries are not very fond of the British, so you've got to be careful. You don't want to go somewhere it's dangerous, or it annoys me that people get stereotyped. It is what it is. But it'd be nice to. I want that's a priority for me this year is to get that set up so I get my Irish citizenship, so I can have a dual passport. Then I can have an Irish passport because you get the citizenship, then you can apply for the passport. Then you've got an Irish passport and Irish and European passport. Then we've got the UK British passport. So that'll allow me, of course, to live anywhere I want within the British Isles and Ireland there. But of course, it would then open up if one day I chose to relocate into Europe, I could. Because through the Irish passport, I could then go live in Portugal, I can live in Spain, I can go to Greece, I can go Italy, anywhere, Switzerland, whatever. But I think that's a lot of freedom to have, from just that alone. Like in terms of, if we're talking about simplicity of emigration, that would be the most simplistic way. Going through that effort of get the citizenship for Ireland, and it opens me up for the rest of Europe. And you haven't got to worry then about visas and all those other things that everybody else has got to worry about. Like, do you fulfill this quota, and all this? You wouldn't have to worry about that. Now, doesn't mean I would do that, but the option is there, of course. But of course, people have got, their own desires. But the way I look at it a lot of time, I think people jump into the idea of romanticizing something. Like, what's so bad about having a holiday, though? Like, as much as I love Crete, is it sustainable for me? Would it be sustainable for me to relocate to Crete in terms of industry? Like, and then you've got to look at what's their tax system like. How much is the cost of living like? It's really important you do your due diligence. How much does it actually cost per month to realistically live there, like costs, and then how much is the typical income, and so how easy is it for people to get by? Because the other thing is, like as a British citizen, yeah, okay, times are hard sometimes, but you do have the luxury of going on holiday every now and again. Does someone from Greece typically have the finances spare, and is their currency strong enough to allow them the freedom to then travel and go on holidays and things? These are things to look out for, because I can comfortably go to Greece on holiday. Could I comfortably travel from Greece to anywhere else on holiday? I don't know. And I think that's the thing I think people really need to think about. You can love somewhere and travel there frequently. You don't have to live there. And that's something that, unless you're truly drawn to it, where you feel you should be living there, then that's different, isn't it? It's a 4-hour flight from the UK to Crete. which is probably the furthest you're going to go in Europe realistically. Which isn't too far from Egypt. Well, actually, you would argue Cyprus is the furthest, probably. I'd guess. But anyway, yeah, that's that. And then we've obviously got you've got the United States, which has its civil unrest at the moment. I think it's for me. It goes for me. The problem with America for me though, it stems. I'm not trying to attack anything. It just for me, it stems beyond the civil unrest. It's the lack of freedoms. There's a lot of talk that America has all these freedoms and things, but it's like they don't. It's just something that's like a poster, but you don't actually. It's not enforceable. You don't have half the freedoms. You know, it's the cost of living is ridiculous. The healthcare is crazy expensive. That's just that. Then you get cops that are unhinged. Then you've got like corrupt governments and officials to the point where if they want to accuse someone of something, they'll make it. In my opinion, they'll fabricate evidence to fit an agenda, and I think that's sketchy as shit. Why would I want to live in a society that's that suppressed? It doesn't matter how pretty something looks. Now take that all away. Let's forget about half these things. Let's take away the politics. America is beautiful. And its environment, it's just crazy, isn't it? I mean, in the winter, it gets incredibly like snowy and all sorts of shit. The environment just changes like crazy, doesn't it? Across from like Boston, Maine, all the way to like New York, and of course like Washington and Oregon and the Northwest. It's raining all the time, from my understanding, but it's beautiful at the same time, like the scenery. So in terms of the landscape, it's so varied, isn't it? The fact that people have that freedom to relocate wherever they want, but then the people are so different between each state, aren't they? And then some people don't like other areas, and it's just crazy. They don't actually all get along. So if we take away the politics and we take away the division, one of the things that is alarming with America though is the weather patterns. And I think some people are a bit blasé about it. We know California is on a fault line, so you're going to get earthquakes. How frequent those earthquakes are, I've got no idea. How devastating a serious one could be, who knows? You know, but that's a problem, because it is a problem. It's a natural disaster. It's something that's always waiting to happen. Then you also get the extremes. You get flooding all along here. The Gulf of Mexico is prone to flooding certain parts of the year. And we know full well Florida is a disaster waiting to happen with tornadoes and hurricanes. And these are things that vast majority of people around the world don't have to deal with. And it's something that's very serious. Then we've got the open plains of like Arkansas, I think it's Missouri, we've got Kansas, Oklahoma. I don't know if it goes up to Nebraska, I suppose it probably would, where it's like Tornado Alley. You know, you're going to get tornadoes all the time, like through these places. And that's danger to life. And it's just, even if it's not a danger to life, the cost of repairing everything all the time, it's like, it almost feels like, even if you're trying to do well in life, there's always something that's ready to destroy it. So I personally think if I was in America, I would never feel 100% settled. It's almost like you're one disaster away from losing everything. That's what I would feel like. So if I'm talking like personal thing, if a career sent me there in America at the right time, I'd consider it. If you're saying, would I live in America for the remainder of my life? Would I do that with an anticipation that I would? I'd no. No, it would be too unsettling for me. I think long term. I don't know. You just don't know where you end up, do you? But I mean, talking like that. Yeah. What I will say is, my daughter is very much British. She loves everything Britain. I kid you not. She's just Britain. She doesn't like the hot weather. My favorite period of the year is spring. I like the summer as well, but spring because everything changes. It all brightens up. Everything just feels like it's growing. She likes autumn when everything's sort of like calming down. She likes the cold. So she has a skin. She can't because of her skin gets dry. She has issues with her skin, so the heat actually makes it flare up. So she naturally prefers the cooler periods. Whereas I have my blood circulation, it isn't like serious, but it's there, and so it's better for me to be in warmer environments. So we sort of like Britain kind of has the best of both, if you like. It serves us both well. Yeah, but so I have to consider that as well. Like if I was emigrating, moving, it has to be at the right time. Now she's nearly 16. I am 43 in a few days. So, you know, You ain't got that long to make decisions on futures. But also, you know, I wouldn't drag her anywhere she doesn't want to go. I want her to have her own life. And I think because, like, fortunately, she's getting older to the point where I'd feel more comfortable in a few years to, if an opportunity come, I could consider it. And I wouldn't feel it's like a huge disturbance to her life because she's got her own life to live. She's building her own thing. But when she was little, I would never have done it. I wouldn't drag her around because I know this is where this is what she wants. So I know if I move anywhere else in the world, she's probably going to stay in England. And it doesn't mean we won't see each other, I won't visit each other, talk to each other all the time. But I know she's staying. Realistically, she's probably going to stay in England. And if she comes with me anywhere, if I was to go somewhere else, I know she would naturally return to England anyway. You know, that's what she likes. She's already said it to me. She likes England. She hasn't travelled everywhere else, but I know her mind. I know what she likes and things, and I know England is what she likes. So anyway, we have to consider that as well. You know, what's fair for other people, of course. So the other place I was looking at, because America's become such chaotic mess at the moment, realistically, my mind's been focusing more heavily on Europe, but I've also took a bit of an interest in Australia. Wasn't really on my radar before because Australia is so freaking hot and inhospitable. I didn't realise all the populated areas are on the coast around the whole country, but it's all around the coastlines because it's so extreme and dangerous in the middle. No one goes there. But it's such a big area anyway that you wouldn't really need to. But obviously you get the most deadliest things. You get the most deadliest snakes, spiders. Even the kangaroos are not as friendly as we thought they were. You know, it's painted in, we've taught early age they're cute. They're not. Even koala bears look like they've got really, really sharp claws. You got crocodiles, you got all sorts. Anyway, so it seems like everything out there is trying to kill you, pretty much. So there is that inherent fear. But then I've seen examples of Australia that just make me go, I like that. I actually like Australia. See, I've always felt that America's very similar to Britain. But the more you start looking into Australia, you start to realise the Australian people are more like British people than Americans are, I think. They have similar humour. And I think it depends on the pockets of people. You get pockets of people in Britain who are not very friendly, they're nasty. You're going to get that in any country. But I think the best of Britain is very similar to the best of the Australians. You know, that makes sense. A lot of compassion and kindness. Yeah, so I was looking at places like Sydney. Then I've seen a lot of content that shows Melbourne as well, which really looks nice. And I think someone else showed something up here. Cairns, supposed to be really pretty. Now, this isn't really doing it justice, but from what I learned, see a lot of people going on 6-month tourist visas, tourist/work visas, so they can work while they're on holiday and they can travel around. Now, that's all right if you're really young. It's a bit hard to throw your life away for a very short period and just be that upheaval. But that's what some people are doing. But you have to be a max. You can't be over 45 for that visa, from my understanding. So I'm at 43 nearly, very soon. Am I going to do that in 2 years? No. So, I have an intention to travel there at some point and try and see what it's like. But I noticed a lot of people are upheaving their life on the dream without having visited before because it's such a long flight and it's probably expensive to go there on a holiday. People are just saying we're just going to move there and just hope it goes well. But I think that's a bit risky, personally. I think surely if you're going to do things about more pragmatic, I would suggest. So maybe go on a holiday, and just rather than make that holiday in one location, spend like a few days there. Like let's say you're thinking of moving there. Why not just go on a holiday, fly to, I don't know about Adelaide. Is Adelaide near Melbourne then? Well, Melbourne's here, Adelaide there. Why not go Adelaide for a couple of days, fly out, and then go to Melbourne, then go Sydney. You've got Brisbane there, and you can even do this Cairns. I swear there was somewhere over here someone showed off. Oh, Perth. Perth looked nice as well. I mean, I don't know how much these flights cost, but the thing is, from what I watched, where I was seeing people talk, they said internal flights around Australia actually work pretty cheap. So if it isn't that expensive to do these move arounds, I would suggest doing that, because if you was to say, I'm going to upheaval with my family or with my own personal life, I'm going to take a risk, I'm going to go out there and hope it works. I've even got Darwin to the north, look. So every area is going to have different climates as well. And some places are going to be more busy than others, of course. But wouldn't it make sense to just see as much as you can before you decide where you're going to call home? At least I would. You know, even if it costs an extra £1,000, whatever. It's like you're making a life decision here. Like you're better off spending the extra £2,000 to see as much as you can, and then make a decision because you might not like the cities, or you might say, oh, Melbourne's fun, but Sydney's boring, or it might be the other way around. I mean, Perth looked really nice when I saw Perth. So then it's deciding what side of Australia you want to be on. I don't know about the politics. I don't know if it's different across the country or not. But again, Australia is quite hot on things coming in, so you can't be taking food in. If you do, you have to declare it. There's different things like that because it's about causing, like, being dangerous to the environment. Really, they don't want parasites coming in and things. So you've just got to declare that because I know they're very hot on things like that. And I think anytime you go anywhere, do it all the right way. Get the right visas and go with the right intention. And I think just be honest if someone asks you questions. That's the best way because I see it they got a TV show in the UK for the Australian border control. I think it's, can't remember what it's called now. But I quite like. I used to like watching that. So you sort of understand how hot they are with everything. But it's like makes sense. But of course, you've got other places. You've got the Middle East. You've got Africa, Asia. But it's going to be obviously things depend on, I think, people's interests, the lifestyles. You can even go to New Zealand, of course. One thing I will say when I was looking at flights, it seemed, because of England to go to Australia was like 24 hours or something. I think it was 15 hours to go from the UK to California to LA. Well, that looks like a nice photo of California, doesn't it? But it was like a 15-hour flight, I think, from there to California. But then you could get a flight from California to Australia. But again, it depends what part. But I was trying to figure out the cheapest way and the best way to get there because I think from the UK, I don't know if it does I think someone said it does a direct flight to one. It might be Perth because Perth's closest. You might be fortunate enough to get a UK to Perth flight, maybe. But I think a lot of them stop off at Singapore. Singapore. So yeah, a lot of them I think go from UK to Singapore and then you go off to Australia. It's such a long flight, you know. But another way could potentially be book it yourself, a flight from there to California, and the way I see that, if you ever did that, is you get to see two different places. Like if I was going to Australia, I probably would. If the price isn't much different, I don't know. It depends on money, of course, as well. But you would get to see California for a bit instead of just getting on a flight to California and going straight out to Australia. Why not do a couple of days in California? And then carry on to Australia. That would be a cool holiday, wouldn't it? Why not bounce around? If you've got a chance to go somewhere, why not visit two places in one trip? Let's do this shit. But one day I hope to do a lot more traveling, and I think that's sort of things I would potentially look to do. But yeah, so with Australia, I've been looking. Like I said, there's a working visa that I've seen people do. It seems very short term. I don't know if it's ideal for people, but I think it's better for youngsters where you could just go back and live with your parents if you have to come home, because these visas are, my understanding, they want you to have 5,000 Australian dollars. They say want because from what I'm seeing, other people say they didn't go with that much, but their currency for the most part, apparently, I haven't done the research, but apparently is like if you've got. You double your own currency, it turns into Australian dollars. If they say 5,000 of Australian dollars, it's usually about £2,500, which isn't that much money. So that's not bad. And if you can get it, you can go for less. My attitude, though, with any of this, is I would not move to another country without having enough money in reserve for a flight home. And there's no way I'd ever eat into that flight home money either, even in emergency. Because if you overstay a visa, you will get banned from entering that country again. It's not worth the risk. If there's ever a problem in that country and you want to get home, you should always have that ability just to get back on a flight and go home. And I think not having that contingency would be ridiculously stressful, and it literally could be life-changing. But I think that's the bare minimum is you need a flight home. So that's how I would be. If I haven't, so when I hear people say, I traveled to Australia and I was supposed to have 5,000 Australian dollars, but I went with a lot less and they got me in anyway. I'm thinking, you took a huge gamble with that. You're hoping you can find a job when you get there, But I don't know what. I mean, unless you're asking family to bail you out, if not to get you home. But to me, that's incredibly risky. Yeah, I think that's living by the seat of your pants. That's a bit for me. That's a bit much. If you're going to leave a country, you better be able to get back. That's the bare minimum, isn't it? I think. But yeah, so Australia actually, from my understanding, is quite. If you've got a skill they want, it's a lot obviously easier to get in. But I think that's the same with every country. But they all have their own rules. So, like some countries might be looking more towards the short term than the long term, and I think Australia's culture is more geared towards that. They want people just to come and plug gaps within their where they have like shortages in employment. So they want to plug the gap, but then it might be a short term view, and then you go. But I don't really see the point, personally. Like if you're gonna, I don't know. It's up to people, isn't it? But just the idea that you have to then mess about trying to find somewhere to live when you get home after, it's just a bit crazy. Of course, it's an experience. For the younger generation, it's pretty cool. I think if you're older, it's a little bit more unsettling. But you get, it's like most things though. Like when I was younger, in my 20s, I I didn't know I had this blood circulation thing where the cold's worse. But it doesn't mean I can't be in the cold. So I don't want to get that wrong. But it was a long time ago. I think it was about 22, 21. I was young. And I was attracted to Canada. I was never really fascinated with America. I like Canada. And I thought, oh, that could be cool. And I was looking potentially in my mind. I was actually doing all the research. I got a book on it. I didn't even care if I had to do it on my own because I wasn't asking people to come with me. I was actually prepared to go relocate to Canada on my own because it looked cool. And I like the culture seemed cool. And I don't know. There's certain things about it. I thought it looks peaceful. And one of the companies I was working for, because they were a big company, they have offices around the world. So I wrote to head office and just said, I'm thinking about Canada. If I was to go there, would there be any job opportunities? And they gave me, they sent me a list of all their offices in that country for me to contact. I didn't follow through with it in the end. It was just more something I was curious about. But that's something that an avenue people probably should look into. If you're not working for a big company now and you want to relocate, it might be worth even just temporary, even like an IKEA. I'm not saying IKEA specifically, but let's say it was like an IKEA. Let's say you work for a small family company. You think, oh, this is all right. I might try and go to Australia in a year. What I would suggest the smart thing potentially to do would be try and get a job at IKEA, even if it's their warehouse, whatever, and then maybe write to head office and see if they've got any IKEA places in Australia, and maybe you might be able to get a transfer to an Australia one. They might be able to sponsor your visa application. All of a sudden, you've got a streamlined way to get into Australia. And I think personally, that's the smart ways to do things. It's just planning ahead, isn't it? And thinking about how else you're going to get sponsored. That's one way to get sponsored. And I work in other countries too, you know. But again, that's logical way of thinking, isn't it? Like what do you want and the ways to get there. But like I say, there's a huge hypocrisy in the fact that people look down at those who enter their country, but then they think they should have all the freedoms in the world to go and visit someone else's. But the way I see it is sometimes I think you're in the wrong place. Like if your mind, body, and soul desires to be somewhere else, then it's like you had an experience somewhere, but you're being called to somewhere else, you know. And I think if you feel that way, then follow it. Follow it. There's issues everywhere, you know. Like Australia, on the face of it, I'm going to show some pictures in a minute if we can, if it works, because it does look nice. And I think they earn more wages than the UK, but their cost of living's higher, so it always cancels itself out anyway. And you have to pay healthcare, but apparently, again, I'm only telling very basic level here. People have to do their research. From what I understand, there's a treaty between the UK and Australia where it's reciprocal. So Australians in the UK would receive, I don't know if they receive full UK healthcare or if they've got to see subsidised. But I know if a UK citizen was in Australia, it would still have to pay for the healthcare, but you would get a refund on some of it. So I think what I read or heard someone say was if it's $150 to see the doctor or something, you would get maybe $30 back as a refund. So I thought, well, it's not like massive amounts, is it? But everything helps. But it's for me, it's always alarming if you've got to pay for healthcare. It doesn't come out of taxes, and it's not just set up universal healthcare. I don't quite like that because it's like that's another concern and something you have to save for and prepare for. So I don't quite like that. And the prices for food is quite high. Like even my books, like where I've listed my books, I try and be as fair as I can around the world because I know it's not. I know people struggle, but the currency exchange is so poor. Like effectively, when I'm selling my books to Canada and Australia, because I know the currency's poor and I know the price is so high at their end, I do try to minimize it, but it's still not easy. And I know realistically, if I sell a book in Australia, I'm probably not going to make much money on it at all. But I don't think it's fair to price it to a point where they can't buy it at all. But because I don't know I don't understand. I don't know what's fair in their country, so I can't say whether I'm doing it reasonably or not. I don't know. I try my best though, because I just think, you know what, it's not their fault. The currency is ridiculous. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously, like I say, you've got all these dangers as well in Australia. But apparently, that's why if you was doing that visa thing, you want to emigrate, that's why they won't take anyone over 45 because they don't want people to be a drain on their healthcare system, which I thought was again, it's self-preservation, bit of a pain in the arse though, because most people, I think, realistically, who would seek to move permanently would be later in life. So that's a bit of a shame. But at the same time, like you could look at this, like that's how I am. Like you can look and glamorize it. I can look at like Greece and think, oh, I love the culture of Greece. It's just so cool and I like the climate. Or people might think the same as Spain. Or you might look at America and look at pockets of America and think, oh, it's so nice. Or you might even look at Australia and we look at Australia a minute and go, that's so beautiful. And I love their culture from what I'm hearing. Apparently they get up at like 5 in the morning or just 6 in the morning. I think it's like 5. And they literally go straight to the beach. And they even have coffees and go on runs and shit. I think that's great. Because when I've got up early in the past and you've actually go to bed reasonable time but get up early, you feel fresh. So I get it. I thought that's nice. That would be good. I can't remember what I was going to say now. I did like that. But anyway, you for all the positives, and then you might feel a bit down because you think, oh, I don't think I'll ever have that opportunity. It's like, don't be quick to dismiss where you are. There's like, I don't say I love England because I'm trying to posture or I'm pretending. I'm saying realistically, unless a career opportunity takes me somewhere else or something really happens in my life that pulls me towards something and I feel like drawn there, I'm more than happy to stay in England. Like, I like England. Like, this is home. And I haven't even explored all of it yet. I like our castles. I like all the different things I can see. And I know some people take it for granted, but I don't. And I like how quaint it is. I've just shown examples of like the little villages, the little streets where it gets busier. I haven't even shown a city. I haven't even been into the city centres, have we? I mean, a city's a city. I think you see one, you see them all, really. But yeah, like, so you can get your head down, but then I just think, well, I'm fortunate to be here. I think everybody's fortunate to be in the country they're in the sense that it's familiar. You haven't got to learn something. In America, I'd have to learn the laws. You can't just jaywalk, which is just, I don't think anywhere else that's even a thing. So I have to understand what the hell jaywalking is. And it turns out you can't even walk across the street unless it's a pedestrian crossing. And cars have right of way. That's not the way here in the UK. They did change the rules to make sure that people stop for people in the road because people weren't slowing down enough. But you just cross the road when it's convenient and it's safe to do so. It's just using your own logic, your mind. We don't have school buses, so like you just have a normal bus that takes you on a route. Cars don't stop for buses. Like in terms of like if it's on the other side, I didn't realize even on the other side of the road, cars have to stop if a bus has stopped. So everyone just comes to a standstill because a kid might run across the road. But then surely you educate your children not to be stupid. I don't want to be rude, but like, that's crazy. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's something I would never understand. Is stopping for a school bus because surely kids can just wait for traffic to pass until it's safe to cross. Like, that's smart. I don't get that. I don't know why you just run in the road. That's mental to me. And the jaywalking thing, I would never understand. How you can get like a citation or whatever the hell it is, America get a fine. Well, I don't know how far it goes, but they call it a crime. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Just cross the road. Like, how much control, mate? You puppets. It's like those two things bother me a lot because they're just fundamental, basic things in life. It's just that's crazy that it's even an issue. Australia worries me with the healthcare, just like America does. I think the visa requirements, how short term the visas are, is a worry for me. I don't think they're looking for the average person to stay long term. Personally, that's what it seems to me from what I'm seeing. But you can extend. I think you have to be there 6 years. In the UK, I think it's 5. I can't remember. I know. I think they started changing it. It might even be longer now. I swear they increased it to 10 or something stupid. They were talking about it. I don't know why. But yeah, so once you get to a certain stage, you would then get a chance to be a citizen, which I think is pretty cool. But like, if you was doing it again, this might only be that specific visa, and that's all I'm aware of at the moment. That work tourism visa in Australia, it's a case of you're only there for 6 months. So an employer can only hire you for 6 months, but I think they can apply to the government to extend it. But that just means you're always living on this short-term mind that you've got to quickly, you're going to have to try and find another job, or you're going to have to go home. So if you haven't got a job and someone's sponsoring you, your visa can expire. Like I'm sure the first 6 months is fine, I would have thought, because you're a tourist, and I think you can stay in places long enough. But you won't be able to stay any longer if you're not thing. And I definitely wouldn't stay a day longer. I personally would leave a month before you're supposed to go, because I don't think it's worth taking a risk. You stay one day over a visa, you will get banned. And I think it's a permanent ban. It might only be a 10-year ban or something, but some of them are permanent. So even just staying one day, and I wouldn't take the risk, because you might have the intention of going the day before your visa runs out, but then you get stuck in hospital. I don't know if they do exemptions. You might have just an issue and you can't get to the airport. I wouldn't even take the risk. If you know your time's going to be up, just go in plenty of time. Do it the right way. Don't be a problem, because you don't want to get banned. And that's the other thing with like crimes and shit. Before we just finish up there, you get yourself in petty problems or any problems, it ends up on a criminal history, and you can have a problem getting into any countries. And people don't think about that, because they just think they can just get away with everything. It's like you've given away your freedom in so many areas, and something as basic as being able to travel, But like when you look into Emigrate, of course, there's places all around the world. But because I'm not, what do you call it? Anyway, I don't speak different languages, so I'm quite much stuck wherever I know they can talk fluently English. It doesn't come easy to me learning different languages, so yeah, it does limit your spaces. But then I'm more happy just to have holidays, to be honest. But who knows where the future brings? Like I said, I can get my Irish citizenship. That should be simple. I think that takes about 9 months when you apply. It's about £300 or just under. So that's a whole process and time. And then it does open up Europe for your lifetime, doesn't it? While Ireland is a member of Europe. So that makes that simple process. It's just a shame how hard it is for everybody. I'm not thinking it's just, again, I think about everyone in the world, People think because you're like from this country is something special, and you should have those rights. Everybody should have the rights. We're all human beings. It shouldn't be fair that it's easy for instance, I have this way where I can get an Irish citizenship, and then I can freely live around Europe or do what I want, like within reason. And yet someone else has to, like, let's say someone's in Africa, or they're from the Middle East or Asia, wherever they are, South America. Let's say they want to just improve, they want a different experience. They're no different human. They're not a human being than me. This is just privileges some people have, and it's not fair on those who don't have a privilege. I get fed up with that with people in general, where they just think they're better class of human being. It's like, no, you're up your own arse. We're human beings. Have some compassion, If you want to relocate and you want a different experience, you want a holiday, then shouldn't everybody have that freedom? So, yeah. But I would say, do your due diligence wherever you go. There's going to be fees involved. There's going to be criteria you've got to meet. And some may only be a short-term situation. And I wouldn't go anywhere thinking you can turn a short-term situation into long-term, because that might be an incredibly naive mindset that comes to bite you in the arse, Of course, I think a lot of the time marrying someone in that region helps, but not always simple, as we've seen with the UK, with their policy. You have to have a specific combined annual salary, what you've earned. And there's fees. Like, for instance, if someone was going to come and live in the UK, I think you've got to be 5 years to get the citizenship at the end, but I don't know if they're extending that. But anyway, let's say someone wanted to come in for 5 years. From my understanding, and I could be wrong, I think it's about £1,500 or £1,500 per year just for the NHS. So that's just for the healthcare. And you have to pay that in advance for every year. So if you're going to do a 5-year visa, you need to pay the government, UK government, 5 years worth of healthcare. And that amounts up a lot. Then you've got the application fees, the visa, and all sorts. So from my understanding, typically, I think it costs about £10,000 to £12,000 to get a visa for the UK for a period of time like that, which is mental. But that's just ridiculous. I just think the whole process is ridiculous. They just make it unaffordable for people. So let's say I was to meet and want to get married. I'm just saying. And let's say it was to someone from another country. And the UK says this is the criteria. For you to live together in this country, you need to meet these criteria together. And the application fee is this and all this is this. It's like, my God, that's actually atrocious. That's not served. Well, who does that serve? That's so unaffordable. So let's say I get an Irish let's say I get the dual citizenship and I've got Irish. It's like, now, what's Ireland's policy on people getting married and living together and things like that? Because, I mean, they're not too far away. How much, and what's the cost of living there? Because that's the sad part. And I think this is a sad reality a lot of people live with, and I don't think it's spoken about nearly enough. Ultimately, it starts to come down to, where can we afford to live together? Because if the UK's policy is so, it's not even affordable. If you can't afford it, then it's unmanageable. You're not going to not be together because a country tells you it's impossible. So then what do I do? And then maybe you just start, because you've got the Europe one, maybe Ireland's too expensive too. Which country is it affordable to live together and we could be married and things, because obviously the European passport allows you this luxury. So then you can start maybe looking around and think, what is this for the spouse visa? How much is that going to cost? I haven't done the research on that, but that might be the option you have to go down. You might have to both leave. What a stupid policy. You might have to both leave because your country's greedy as shit. It's a joke. The one thing I don't understand, like personally, because I thought about it earlier, and I know people might have an answer to it, and I'm sure it'd be skill-based. Maybe it's people's background and all that nonsense. But if you're going to have criteria, for instance, you've got all these policies, like it's really hard for people to go and relocate to another country. Why can't there be sort of a reciprocal exchange? Why can't it be that, let's say someone from America wants to go and live in England. Let's say I'm in England and I want to go and live in America. Why can't we just do a mutual exchange? You can go and you do it like an agreement. So that was for 5 years. Well, I guess it'd be 5 years because that's citizenship. Or you can just do however long you want. Let's say you both just want to do a year or 6 months, whatever. But let's say you both sign and agree and it's a legal binding thing. Why can't you both just swap? It's not like you pop in homes and shit, but why can't you just swap the thing? America loses one person, they gain a person. UK loses a person, they gain a person. It's just a mutual exchange. I know that might seem simplistic and stupid, but to me, I just can't understand it. Obviously, I understand it's going to be like financial implications and different issues with that. But it just seems logical. If the worry is you're going to lose too many people, you're going to gain people too. So I don't get it. But again, that's picking at two prominent countries. I only say that because I'm British, so it just makes sense for me to compare wherever I am to Britain. But I can't imagine what it's like for people in African countries trying to make a new life for themselves when everyone just keeps stereotyping them and being racist and shit. And it's just, for me, it just irritates me. It really does. I know people are going to have an opinion on that because they get really funny about it. But it's really important people learn to put themselves in someone else's shoes. And I think people lack that. Everyone's so self-involved and obsessed with themselves that they don't think about anyone else. And it just bothers me because I just think, you're just lucky you're born into privilege, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? Like, goddamn. People got their head up their ass. Not that reality. So it's a bit mental, isn't it? That as a British citizen, I might qualify to go to Australia a lot easier than someone from Africa, for instance. Or someone from another country. It depends what their criteria is and who they favour, It's just a bit mad, isn't it? And again, that'll happen everywhere. I mean, we're hearing it now where America, under Trump, he's just blocked, I think it's 100 and something countries. I don't know what he's done. He's blocked a lot of countries. So they're saying that even if someone's married to an US citizen, if they're from specific countries, they will not be allowed into America. And it's like, oh my God, this place is crazy. But that's the world we're part of at the moment, unfortunately. And I think it's quite sad because it stops people who actually love each other to be together. But like I said, at a certain part, if you're naturally attracted to a certain place and it just feels like home or a calling, to be told you can't go there is quite debilitating, isn't it? So it is a bit wild. But let's have a little look at Australia, because we haven't looked, and I've seen some beautiful stuff. Like I've seen a lot of content on social media with Australia specifically and different places, and I'm like, that's nice. Me dropping a pin isn't going to do it justice based on what I've seen. You know. Oh, look, little tiny bakery. I see these vehicles a lot, don't you? These vans with a little thing on the roof. I don't know what that thing is. I guess that lifts up, does it, to some sort of like canopy or whatnot? Pretty cool. This is just a little suburb, isn't it? Is that what it is? Is it a lot of their houses? I don't know if it's just suburbs. A lot of their houses just like villas, bungalows, all just low level buildings, or is that just what I'm seeing there in that area? A few people got boats. Where was I? Oh, Western Australia. Was I in Perth? I'm not even sure. Right, let me go further in. Rockingham. I've heard of Rockingham, but I thought that was America. I don't really know. Oh my God. The Union Jack outside. I guess that is the rug. So they must have some British expats here or something. Otherwise, why would an Australian want a British thing? Everything seems very low lying, is all I'm noticing at the moment. Like the buildings are quite low. But I bet the weather's nice all year round. But what I did see, from what I was sitting, I was at KFC there, look. What I did see a lot was that there was like play areas for kids quite often at parks and things like that, and it had shade over it and all sorts. Yeah, but I don't think it's doing it quite justice. I get the vibe. Obviously, but everybody else would know better places than me. I haven't got a clue. Let's try. I did like the Sydney Harbour. Sydney, because they got the Sydney Opera House. Is that round here? No, here. It must be in the city. Here it is. Let's try it. I don't need to do it. Oh, goddamn. There you go. So this thought will look nice to me in Sydney. I like the look of it. But then I saw someone talking firsthand, and they were saying Melbourne's got more things to do, so it's worth going to Melbourne first. Because they said in comparison, Sydney seemed boring to them, but I don't know. I always see it like a city's a city. Where's my opera house? Was it over here? Have I gone away from it? Or was it on the other side of this? We get up there. Quite busy, isn't it? And I think the other thing we've not spoke about there is accents. Some people love it. I like accents. And I quite like the Australian accent. Personally. Oh, there's a train. Good day, mate. They just seem happy to me. They seem quite laid back, chill. I say their accent's quite friendly. I like it. I like a lot of accents myself. I like a Scottish accent. I like Northern Ireland. I really like Northern Ireland accent. Irish can get, because they've got different dialects in Ireland, it can get a bit fast. So, I mean, I can talk quite fast. I'm not sure I can fast as them, personally. I can't find this opera house. I think I've got well past it. I guess next train station. No. Oh, I don't know where I've gone. I've gone inside something. But yeah, everyone's got an accent, haven't they? It's something that people drawn to, and I think that's something to consider as well. If someone's got an accent you can't stand, it's like, why would you go there? So we've got that. We did do Brisbane over here, Gold Coast. It's obviously it's not easy, is it? Because it's this. They've even got British places. Like Ipswich is in England. So America and Australia both have. Oh, look, you've got Cleveland. Well, you've got that in America, haven't you? So I think that's interesting. Now we've got like places that are similar. airport there. I don't know where the place would be because it's a city. I could just pick it and we could end up with freaking. I don't know. Actually, it looks as the images are coming up, look like suburbs. Whereas I'd have thought it all just built up city life. Okay. So a bit more cloudy to this side, but of course it's just different seasons. I mean, personally, I think I'd get on most places, to be honest. I'd just fit in. Just get on with whatever the rules are. But it really depends on how much the cost of living is and things like that, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I was, I just think I'd be happy. I'll be all right wherever I am. Be honest. If I'd been brought up in Australia, living in Australia, I'm sure I'd have been perfectly fine in Australia. Same in America. Yeah, like I say, with England, I know the rules. I know all the policies. I know all the things. Do you know what I mean? I think anytime you go anywhere else, you're going to have to educate yourself. You can't just be ignorant and expect to get by just being ignorant and going, "Oh, I didn't know." That's not how the world works. If you're going to go and live somewhere, even on holiday, you have to blend in with their customs and culture. So like I don't know if this. I don't really know if it's the policy in the UK. I've never really heard of it, where you expect to walk around with ID continuously. That's not really a thing. But when you go into Europe, you're supposed to have ID on you at all times. And I don't know if I think America's the same because when they pull you over, they always say insurance and license and insurance. I've never been asked for my insurance. With the UK police, they already have a database. So when they see your number plate, they can understand. Like we have to have an MOT every year to make sure our car's safe. It has to pass that, obviously, it's not road legal, and they can have it towed away and all sorts. It needs to be insured. So we have to pay these fees every year. You have to pay, and then we also have to pay car tax, so road tax. So for the car to be on the road, we have to pay every month. I think you can pay it annually. I'll pay mine monthly for the car to be on the road, and that goes towards the highway. To fixing the car, but for roads supposedly. But it's just cost. But we have to have all those things. We have to have the MOT every year. We have to have car tax. We have to have a car insurance. Of course, we have to have our fuel. It's just cost. But when they pull us over, if they pull us over or when they're driving, they know immediately whether you've got car insurance, whether you've got MOT, and upon a check, I'm sure they know immediately whether you've got a valid driving license or the owner of that car or vehicle. So they don't really need to ask that. They probably will want to see your driving license though. But if I haven't got it on me, I'll just say I haven't got me. And I think then you've got like a certain period of time to bring it to a police station. That's the law. That's the rules that I understand. So I don't feel like I've had my wallet with me all the time. But in America, you're supposed to leave your insurance and everything in the car, which I think is a bit sketchy. Because that means if someone steals your car, surely that means they've got your address and everything else as soon as they've stole the car because your information's in the glove box. How's that safe? I just think it's stupid. It just don't make sense. It's just basic things that they make hard. But it's important that if I was there, that I understand the laws and the rules. You can't be ignorant to it and say, "Oh, we don't do that at home." Well, it don't matter around here, mate. So, I'm not a stupid person. I would take on the culture and the whatever I'm involved in. I would make sure I know everything, well, as much as I possibly can. So, like, if I was moving to Australia, I'd make sure I understand their tax system. What is expected of me? What is the basic principles and policies? Because I don't want to be in violation of anything and have a problem. When it comes to healthcare, what's the situation with that? Is there insurance? Is there universal healthcare, which I don't think there is? Is there what subsidies do I get as a British citizen? Because of course you want to be able to make the most of it. You need to make sure you know all these things, And then it's a case of what I didn't realise. Apparently, a lot in Australia, from what I might be wrong. They pay their rent and things weekly rather than monthly, and that's not natural. That's natural there. So it's important to know those things too. So you have to understand the basics of getting by out there. I think going somewhere not knowing any of those things is really thick. Like I said, I had a book on Canada back in the early 2000s ish, about 2005 ish. Let's say 2005 ish. I've got a book on Canada. I've still got it somewhere, and it told me all about the immigration, all that things. But you'd learn about the policies. I think at the bare minimum, people should at least buy a book like that and learn about that country you're trying to enter. Unless, of course, you're with someone who knows the rules and then you can just learn together. They can teach you. But I'd say that's a really, really important thing, isn't it? So where are we at the minute? We are at Brisbane. Again, none of these are doing us justice because we've now found a freaking coach park. That's hardly going to be the best thing, is it? Like proper industrial area here. Roads look very quiet. I've lost it. But yeah, I noticed the roads seem quiet. But then I suppose Australia's so big, it's not always condensed. But then I think that's just probably a bit of a naive attitude to, wide spaces before it gets, because as we get in here, look, it's a bit busier now. I'm assuming the road system's very similar to UK. I don't really know. This could throw you for a loop. All these different lines are just crossing over from each other, aren't they? It's just like, look, everything's dissecting and all sorts. I mean, you can understand it. If you was on that side of the road, you would naturally just follow that bit. If you was on that side of the road, you would naturally just follow that one round. But it does seem like a mess of lines. Where was the other one was going to go to? But it's just so many different places, isn't there? Did I go to the other one? Sydney? I don't know if I did Melbourne. Oh, I've got a beach. Got a random beach here. We got like, I don't know. The other thing I've understood about Australia, of course, you've got shark attacks that are quite frequent. They can happen quite frequent because the water is so warm. But apparently, if you go to certain places, certain beaches, they've got nets, so it protects it as best it can from like sharks and shit getting in. So I personally would never go in the water of anything that hasn't got that net because it's not worth it. I can't see under that water. I haven't got a clue. And sharks can come in far shallower than most of us believe they can. So I wouldn't take a risk. I don't mind sitting on the beach. There's nothing wrong with sitting on the sand, is there? And enjoying yourself and enjoying the weather. I don't think you need to go splashing around the water, risking a freaking attack. How rare it is. It's like tell the person who's a victim it's rare. You know what I mean? It weren't rare to them, was it? But anyway, it's just crazy how far away Australia is from everything, isn't it? Like, I don't know if I'd have that feeling that we'd like if you was looking out to the sea that that there's nothing there for a while. Because if we actually get Australia up, there's nothing there. I mean, you've got Tasmania over here, look, if you was in Melbourne. But if you was looking out to the sea from Perth, there's literally nothing there. Go far enough, you get to Africa, South Africa, but you're never going to see that. Maybe at the top, but overall, like from England, for instance, everywhere we are, we're not like a million miles away from anything, really, are we? Like, well, we get rid of that. So it doesn't ever feel as an island nation that we're like an isolated island nation. It always feels like something's close enough. And I guess America has that on the coastlines as well. There's just nothing in the vicinity, is there? Strange. Just empty sea. This probably I was going to go into other details really with things, but I was going to get like little boxes of windows up and try and showcase some of the laws and rules with different visa requirements and things. But that would have been quite cumbersome. It'd been a lot longer than what I've done now. And I know we've probably just done a little bit of tourist stuff, really, to be honest. Nothing wrong with that. Like I say, I think Washington State, I think it is it Portland, with the trees and just the way it looks in certain times of the year. Oh, that's probably built up, isn't it? Don't know, it's still quite cool. I mean, that's what I like. Some people, if you're from somewhere, you think it's normal. Other people like it because it's got different character to what you're familiar with, Oh, it's just a homeless situation. You're going to get that everywhere, aren't you? I mean, America seems quite rife with it. It looks like something from freaking. If it's like cloudy, let's say it was a darker night and it's cloudy and there's fog, you would naturally just think this is something from a freaking TV show, like an apocalyptic TV show, wouldn't you? It shouldn't be normal that people have to live like this in modern society. That looked nice. My daughter would have loved that. The flower with the leaves. It's weird. The seasons changed, We've got from these leaves here and you go there and it's not like that. Yeah, now it was all green. It's a proper. Oh my god. Oh, that's a mess. It needs to be jet washed, I think. Well, now we're just on the street. We're on a freaking road. Oh wow. All right. Well, anyway, we've got there. Oh, you can sit and play it down all day, can't you? Like I say, I like where I like home personally. Oh, we never did the Great Yarmouth Beach. Nothing like it ain't gonna be like Australia or the California. Let's be honest, it's not gonna be that. But it's quaint. It's just simple. There you go. I'm trying to think where I am to understand. There's the Ferris wheel, but it looks like that's where the normal bits are. Let me have a look. So normally I think it probably where the Ferris wheel is. Then it would have stand to reason. There is a sea life adventure, which I think this blue thing is the sea life centre. Let me just see if we can get there. I might be wrong. Oh no, it says Pleasure Beach. Wait a minute. This is a little theme park. So this isn't the Pleasure Deals. I can show the Pleasure Deals later, actually. Pleasure Beach. This is actually weird. It's on the outskirts, is it? There's a little hotel there. Terribly looking. That looks depressing, doesn't it? Let's get out of this a minute. Try and get into the area a bit more. Might be the Sea Life Centre. So we've got a pier. I think that might be it. There you go. Sea Life Centre. Will it let us see it? Cool. It's only small. I don't think it's big. Oh wow, we just lost where I was. Get back in here. Oh wow, it's took us in it. All right. Nice. That's annoyed me actually, to be totally honest, because I was in it. Well, so we know where we are. Sea Life Centre here. Let's go there. Got a Ferris wheel here. And you've got this beach here. You've got a massive sand area. I don't think it's going to let us do it. Their actual beach is quite wide with the sand. It's actually really nice. I can show somewhere I went as a child. So we used to have regular holidays because my grandparents, my step grandparents, had a caravan and we used to go there in the summer. Have a look. It's actually really nice. Really nice holidays to have. I enjoyed it. But anyway, this is got the amusement park, arcades and stuff. Let's quickly go. Again, this isn't too far away. Oh, no, it's California. See, I mean, they're everywhere, aren't they? Different places. Caister-on-Sea. Here, Hopton. This is where I used to go on holiday. Hopton Holiday Village. And you've got this nice beach along here, this little walkway down as well. Let's see if we can get this. Here we go. There you go. That's where I used to go on holiday as a kid. Obviously, changed it, modernised it. There's different things. It's been a arcade. You used to have herbs. I took my daughter there as well, actually, a few years ago when she was little. Back in 2015, I think. 2015, so 11 years ago. And it's got a swimming pool and, all sorts of stuff. Hopefully it showed the swimming pool. I didn't do the mini golf, didn't know that was there. This is part of the pool. So you've got this like jet washy thing there. I think that's mental. It just gets drenched. You've got this little pool here. And you've got this slide. You've also got an outboard pool. And you've got the little club things. You go here and you people performing on stage. And you just get to have a nice little drink. And you walk down to the beach. It's nice, but it's expensive. It's really expensive. If you want to go there in the holidays, about £1,000. That's crazy. You go there off season. So I got permission from the school at one point because we was going through a bit of a crisis at home. And there's a lot of issues. And I wrote to the school and just asked for permission to keep her to have her off school so she can have a trip. That we'd never had a holiday together like this. We never had a family holiday, back then. And they agreed. Actually, I was told it brought them to tears. It's life, Our life brought them to tears. So we went off season. It only cost about £150. And it was nice. We went for a week, 5 days, I think, or a week. something. It was nice. But that's the difference between different seasons. And you're still going to get the same experience. In fact, it'd be better because there's less people. Well, I didn't do half this stuff with the things. I don't have a clue half that was there, to be honest. But like, for instance, we'd do this, and then you can go and spend the day. Like it was nice, and then we'd go down to find it. No, it's in between this and this. There it is. Here it is. It's up here. No. I'll have to type it in. I can't figure it out. It should be near here. It can't be that far down. Why have I still got the man on? That's probably why it's not coming up. Here, Lowestoft. So we're coming from Great Yarmouth. Then you go down to Lowestoft. Here, Pleasurewood Hills. That's what I wanted. So we then took them days out to the Pleasurewood Hills. It's more for kids. But you got these manic roads. I don't think we went on that. I don't remember that being there. You got the chair thing here. We got this. I like log flumes and stuff. So we've got these sort of rides. That must be new. That I've never seen that. And then they got that what do you call it? A chairlift thing. You can go on a chairlift. I didn't go on that. I hate heights. Don't like it. Seems you're showing the same rides over and over again here, doesn't it? And people ain't showing anything else. Bit expensive to eat there as well, though. That's the trouble. This is more like a basic place. It's like it's bigger than a small place, but it's big, but it doesn't feel like the big mainstream ones we have, like right near London and stuff. But it's still a good little day out. I don't know if it's really doing it justice, to be honest. Oh, I like Jaws. You know, you got a shark. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. There's places to go, of course. But then you've got all these other places to explore up north. I might go Scotland at some point. I haven't been to Scotland, but they've got really, like Edinburgh Castle looks really nice. And I've seen some other places to go as well. I think you get some incredible castles, though. I mean, is that the castle there? Cragmire Castle? Is that one that's called... Oh, it is Edinburgh Castle. It literally says it. But because of the way it's up in the air above the town, and the town is all like, I don't know if it's all Victorian, but it looks old style town, you know? So cool. Look how nuts that is. So I mean, there might be a point where I finally go up to. I've not been to Scotland before, but look at this. Oh, that's a shame. It's not coming up. It's not. It's a video. So if we come out of that and just pick a random place, let's just do around it. Wait a minute. We've got obviously doing things in the area, aren't they? Upgrading the area or something. But look at the architecture. It's so pretty. Wait a minute. And they've modernised it with some of the others. I don't like the modern shit. I like the old style. I think sometimes with some of these buildings, I think they shouldn't be allowed to ruin the heritage. I think you should have to build buildings and keep it in line with the original. These glass monstrosities look crap. Who wants that? That's nicer. Pretty. Anyway, we could sit here doing this all day, can't we? But again, that's things to take for granted as well, you know, like being part of England, being in England, it's all part of the same thing, you know. So I could easily just drive, well, I say easily, I can travel up by train, plane, or drive up to Scotland, which would be windier, be rainier, colder, all that things, you know. But there's experience behind it. Even York, I think, is supposed to be looks quite nice. It's not too far from me, York. I don't think. I don't think there's a. Is there a cathedral or something? Is it this? What's this York Minster? I'm guessing it's this. So again, the experience is going to be. Oh wow, it's massive. The experience is going to be based on where you go and what you visit, isn't it? But anyway, I'm having a little travel guide here, haven't we? Let's get rid of that. So from where I am, it'll probably take me about. I'm going to guess about 2-3 hours maybe to get there. York. I don't know. There's plenty of places I want to go. I still want to go and see the Cotswolds at some point. Here we go, Cotswolds here. It says Cotswolds. Chedworth or whatever. I don't know the names of the places. Let's see what's going here. But then this doesn't look much. This sort of area doesn't look much different to where I am. If I start just going out for about half an hour, I'll be out in little places like this. Nice. But I've seen some of the Cotswolds where you get these nice little lakes. But again, where I am, it won't take long to find nice places too. What'd be nice to be able to live in these places, maybe one day, maybe. That's the thing. Some people can only dream of, can't you? It's more like a farmy area, isn't it? Where we've got, I don't know the name. So we'd find one of those ones with a little lake, little river. I mean, I probably should just follow the river. That makes sort of sense, wouldn't it? God, what is this block I've got here? Is it like the shape of the car or something? Jesus, it's just blocking off the whole image, isn't it? Let me see if I can follow the river a minute. Oh, it's loads of bloody. Oh, Chippy Norton. Let's do that one. See what I mean? I like the British heritage. Yeah, okay, the weather's up and down, but you get this summer. Our summers are really hot. Like, it can be quite unbearable. So we just get the extremes. I think personally, we get extreme heat and then we get extreme cold, and it's just one or the other. But then I say it's extreme cold, then we see what's happening like in America, in New York and whatnot, with all the snow, and it's like, well, we haven't had that this year. I mean, look at that. That speaks volumes, doesn't it? Can we get that bigger or not? Oh, I'll make that full screen. That's a shame. I like that. It's nice. Anyway, like I say, you can pick apart places and you can say this isn't that good or this isn't that good, but you can do it. Anyway, if you want this, you just go on Google Maps and then you click this little man at the bottom here, and it can literally pinpoint you anywhere you want to go. We might even be able to do the. If I can find it. I mean, in Italy, I want to travel to as well. But if we go to Athens. Is it in Athens? I think it's Athens. I'm trying to see if I can find that thing. I don't have a clue because I've not looked around it. What's this one? There's a museum there. I was trying to find that Acropolis. Here it is. I'm good at finding things. Acropolis. Look at that. Mental. Look at that, man. This is what I'm saying. It's beautiful places around the world, isn't there? I've seen people moaning, don't go during extreme heats. Go at certain times of the day when it's not hot because apparently it's unbearable. But you have to walk up to get to it and stuff. That's beautiful. So the point really is we can glamorize other places, and there's reasons to do so, of course. But it's sometimes like, look, sometimes look close to home. So I'm picking up places that I'm familiar with and I like it. And there's still places within local to me that I still haven't visited that I want to see. So I'm not in a rush to leave. I mean, I haven't even been over to Scandinavia yet. I bet there's beautiful places there. And I'm sure, like, if you're in America or wherever you are, and it's probably just as beautiful in pockets of spaces there, you know. But you just have to understand, if you want to leave, there's rules. And sometimes, is it worth it? That's the thing.